today in reading class, we have about Sharp Eyes Part 2, okay? It's another story. So yeah, I'm going to take a little extra time to read the story. Maybe someone can help you read it or read it to you the first time like we do at school. And yeah, read the story about sharp eyes. You'll need to do that before we really get started on our work, because the very first part of our lesson, you have to look in your story and find answers. So if you haven't yet, why don't you go read your story about Sharp Eyes Part 2. So we learned about scanning and finding the line that our three words are on. Today we're going to learn about finding paragraphs, okay? Finding the number of paragraph that an answer is in. And remember, a new paragraph, what is a paragraph? A new paragraph begins every time a line is indented. Indented means that it is set in, so like something that is set in from the rest of the words. Always begin counting with the first full paragraph on the page. If there is part of a paragraph on the top of the page, do not count it, okay? So always start with the full paragraph. Let's count some of the paragraphs that are in our lesson, okay? So let's count some of the paragraphs that are on each page here in our lesson. So in the first page here, Sharp Eyes, okay? We're gonna count the amount of lines that are indented, and that will tell us how many paragraphs there are on this page. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? So there are 4 paragraphs on this first page. Now notice, this paragraph is finished over here, but it is indented right here. This is the beginning of it, so we're gonna count it on this page. There are 4 paragraphs on this page. Let's count the paragraphs over here. Now, this paragraph right here was started down here, so we're not going to count it. We're going to start with the first full paragraph. So that one is right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay? So it means there are 6 paragraphs on this page because there are 6 lines that are indented. So there's 6 paragraphs on that page. So let's look at the next page. This page. Now, same thing. This paragraph was finished over on the page before here, so we don't count this one. Start right here because it's the first indented line. So 1, 2, 3. There are 3 paragraphs on this page. Same story here. This one was started down here, so don't count it. Start right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 paragraphs on that page. And on the last page, same story here. This one started back here, so don't count it. 1. There's only 1 paragraph on this page. So that's how you count the paragraphs. You always start at the first full paragraph on the page. Let's look at part A. Write a study word under each meaning. In the box, write the number of the paragraph where you found the word. And it gives you the page number to find it on. And it gives you the study words. The study words are brook, head, catch, and turtle. They're in that box. And number 1, a small stream, and it says page 118. So let's look at page 118, and let's see, what is a small stream? Which of those study words is a small stream? Let's read this page. The children looked at the turtle. They turned him upside down, but they could see no head, no legs, no tail. We should let him go back to the brook, said Ned. Maybe we should take him back. Maybe he cannot find his way to that place on the bank where we found him, said Jane. And that's where we're going to stop, okay? So on that page, what is a small stream? Where should they take him back to? And they called it a brook, okay? A brook is a small stream. Now where did we find the word brook? We found the word brook right here. We should let him go back to the brook now, said Ned. So, in which paragraph is the word brook found? So, this is traced back to where the paragraph started. This is where the paragraph started. Here's the word brook. Here's the paragraph that it is in. Which paragraph is that? So, start at the very first paragraph on the page, and let's see what number of paragraph that is in. So, here's number 1 and number 2, and there's the word brook. So, we found that in paragraph 2, right? So in that line, you write the word brook. Make sure it's spelled correctly because it is there for you. So write the word brook. A small stream is a brook, and we found that on paragraph 2, okay? Let's look at the next one. Next one says page 119. To take hold of a thing. What means to take hold of something? Head, catch, or turtle? Which one means to take hold of something? You decide, and then let's look at page 119. And this paragraph started down here, so we know it's not going to be here. We're going to look at the rest of this. May we keep him for a pet? Asked Jane. Yes, if you want to dig worms and catch the other things he likes to eat. I don't know about that, said Ned. If I dig worms, I want to use them for fishing. Me too, said Jane. Let's let him go. You must be very quiet, said Father. He will not come out of his shell if you are not quiet. The children put the turtle on the grass. They sat very still. Okay, so let's see. What does it mean to take hold of a thing? Catch means to take hold of something, right? They caught the turtle. Where does it say, what does it talk about catch? Let's look. Let's scan for the word catch. There's the word catch. Okay, so word catch. And here's where that word starts. It says, if you want to dig worms and catch the other things he likes to eat. So they were taking hold of something, they were catching something. So what paragraph is catch on? Now this paragraph, remember, starts down here, so we don't count it. Start right here, 1, 2, and there's the word catch. So that was in paragraph 2 as well. So you write the word catch, then in that little box, write number 2 because you found it in paragraph 2. Do the very same thing for number 3 and 4. Part B. Think about the main idea in this story. Underline the title that fits best. So we're going to talk a little bit about titles. Stories have different titles, okay? And they could have other titles than what they're written as. The title, Daniel in the Lion's Den, is not found in the Bible. It is a title given to the story because it fits about what happens in the story. Daniel in the Lion's Den tells you a little bit about what happened in the story. It tells you about the main idea of the story. The main idea of the story of Daniel in the Lion's Den is that Daniel was thrown in the lion's den and he was kept safe, right? Here are some other titles that could be used for Daniel in the Lion's Den. So about the story in Daniel in the Lion's Den, that title could be about a brave man, right? Because Daniel was very brave when he was in there. Or a man who trusted in God. Didn't Daniel trust in God? Or what angels can do. Remember the angels came and shut the lion's mouth? So another good title would be what angels can do. Titles sometimes tell something about the main idea of the story. Titles that would fit sharp eyes. So if you read Sharp Eyes could tell about Ned and Jane learning to watch carefully. Here are some titles that could also describe, could describe camping in a general way, but not a specific part of camping, such as cooking over a fire. So cooking over a fire would not be a good title for the story Sharp Eyes because it was not the main idea of the story. Okay? Cooking over the fire was not the main idea of the story. So Sharp Eyes would be a better title. So let's look at part 2. The title needs to be about the main idea of the story. Think about the main idea in this story. Underline the title if it's best. Okay, so in the story about Sharp Eyes, which would be the main idea of the story? What was the main point of the story? What was most of the story about? Was most of the story about sleeping in a tent? Or was most of the story about finding a turtle? What was the story about? What would have been, which one would be a good title for the story? Would the title fit to say sleeping in a tent? Or would the title fit to say finding a turtle? Which one tells you what this story is about? And you underline with your ruler the correct answer. For your verse is, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills. Now, this is a continuation of the verse that we learned in part 1. So in part 1, Sharp Eyes part 1, we had the verse, for every beast of the forest is mine. Okay? And now today we have, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills. Now really, these have the same reference if you notice, Psalms 50:10. These are all one verse. So how you're going to learn this verse is you're going to just add this part, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills. You're just going to add that to the verse that we learned in part 1. So our verse for this lesson is, for every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle up on 1,000 hills. Psalms 50:10. So it's a longer verse, but you learned the first part of it for part 1, Sharp Eyes part 1, okay? So let's say together the whole thing, okay? So like, for every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle up on 1,000 hills. Psalms 50:10. Let's say that together. For every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills. Psalms 50:10. Let's say it again. For every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills. Psalms 50:10. So memorize the whole thing, okay? So memorize the last part and then put the two together. Memorize it to somebody and say that to somebody. And have somebody sign that little triangle, either your parents or an older sibling, sign that little triangle to show that you said it, okay? Part C, answer the questions. Who owns all the animals? Who owns all the animals? You write who owns all the animals. What animal do you like best? Okay, there is no right or wrong answer for this question. What animal do you like best? Just write your favorite animal down. Part D, underline what the figure of speech means. Okay, remember, it's a figure of speech that says something that does not mean exactly what it says. So when we say we'll run to go get something, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to take off running to go get something, okay? It just means we're going to go get it. Okay, God's word is a lamp to my feet. God's word is the Bible, right? Is God's word literally a lamp? Remember, a lamp is like a light. Is God's word like a light to our feet? Literally a light? It's a figure of speech, right? It means that God's word shows us where to go. Okay? So God's word is a lamp to my feet. What does that mean? God's word helps us to know how to live right, or God's word is a flashlight? Is God's word a flashlight, a real flashlight, or does God's word tell us where to go? Then it says read Sharp Eyes part 1. So if you already did that, go ahead and mark off that box. And then it says do page 31. Now you don't have your books at home, so page 31 is the next page. At the top it says make a motto, and it gives you a picture to color. It says say the Bible verse to your teacher or the class. So in this case, you would say it to your parents. Color the picture, cut out the motto, and paste, which means glue. Glue it on a sheet of colored paper, okay? So if you don't have colored paper, you don't have to glue it on paper. If you have colored paper, I would encourage you to color or to put it on paper. But yeah, if you don't have paper, just color it neatly and cut it out, okay? Cut it right along those dotted lines, cut carefully. Don't cut in farther than the dotted lines, but cut right on the dotted lines, okay? So that is a fun part for your lesson today. That is all in your reading. Do your work carefully. Make sure to follow the directions. This is underlined. Make sure to use a ruler. Write neatly. Make sure your words are spoke correctly. And color that picture neatly, okay? That picture has to be colored extremely neatly. Okay, I will see you in math class.